Watch out, watch out, watch out, watch out! Oh my God! KO in midair!
Hey everyone, and today we're back. It's been a few days to put a video up, but I needed a little break from the YouTube thing after releasing those 3 vids on the Swedish mediums. But today we're back, and I figured we're gonna get back to more of the grassroots style rather than tank reviews, looking at more gameplay, and of course in my favorite tank. If you did not know or new to the channel, LTTB is by far my favorite tank in the game. I don't play it as much as I used to, but when I do, I usually have fairly decent games in it, and I have 2 really good games in it for you today. The first one's not as good as the second one, but we'll get into the second one shortly after the first. But there's a reason there's over, I think, 50 videos of this tank on my channel, all on a playlist. It's just, I don't know, it meshes well with me, and it's the troll armor. It's hilarious. It's just hilarious. And we're going to be on 2 really good maps for this. First map's Mount Ofka, obviously the scout tanks, like, dream. It's we take a fairly standard position, at least for me. A lot of the time, or not a lot of the time, but I think recently I saw somewhere where somebody said they were spotting the hill up the right in my light tank, or up in their light tank. And while that's not completely, yes, you will spot tanks up there, you're not going to do much assisted wise. You're just going to get that initial spot of, hey, there's some tanks. Okay, now you're basically useless, and you're not really doing anything on top of a hill where everybody's usually within 200 meters or less, 100 meters eventually. So there's really no point in you spotting there. Plus, in this position, you can actually spot way sooner before they reach the hill. So, yeah. I've seen that before. There are some maps where, yeah, getting just that initial spot is good, like Himmelsdorf, but you're not going to keep tanks lit up anywhere on that map generally. So this is a better position because you can actually keep the enemy team lit up far longer than just YOLO rushing the hill and saying, haha, I got 8 spots. Like, that's congrats, but you're not going to really give your team any benefit because, yes, they're spotted, but you're not really scouting. You're just spotting the tanks initially and then not really accomplishing much more after that a heavy tank can easily do up there as well. Versus here you can spot them sooner and for longer as well. Just kind of the short and sweet version of that. So, and you can also spot into the field as well, which is nice. So, fairly standard position, at least for me. Taking the middle here in the LTTB. Again, it's a tier 10 game, which a lot of tanks I would be like, it's not great, but again, it's a good map, and it's my favorite tank, so I'm not really too concerned about tier 10 in this thing at this point. We haven't fired around yet in this thing. It's just because of what happens when the output shield doesn't really come off. Sometimes a lot of damage, so you're just kind of left not doing too much this game, unfortunately. We were able to pick up a sneaky shot into the Conqueror. It's not exactly easy, but we put a couple shots into him. Kind of surprising that second one even penned, but we'll take it. It's not exactly what you want to be doing in the entire game, but if the target, the opportunity, arises, I'm going to take advantage of it. And here we get a little carried away. We do hit him, but the chances of that actually connecting are very low. But you see we spotted the 268, and he basically got vaporized. And that's what's good. You can, this position, this area, you can usually counter that spot where a lot of their TDs usually sit, or their other lights or mediums in that position where that 268 just got obliterated. And you can also keep these guys down by the church area lit up fairly well in addition to that. And it also gives you easy access back to the field if you need to be, where that guy's signaling for help. So it kind of just gives you freedom of mobility as well, and access to all areas of the map, which is what you want in your light tank. You want to be fairly mobile, not flipping upside down in the water like a idiot. But we're all good. We're back on the tracks and ready to go. Now I'm taking a further more aggressive spot. This spot, I always say, just attracts the YOLOs, just because I don't know. I really don't know the logic behind it. If you spot the 430, and honestly right here I thought, he's probably going to YOLO me, isn't he? Just because it happens so much here. And I just start running, just because I feel like that's what's gonna happen. But I have enough support to where it looks like he's not gonna want to push, which is good. But just be wary of that. That in this position where I'm at the moment, people really do like to push down here. If you don't already know that, especially if you're in a scout or light tank, you can get yellowed very easily in this spot. But he's kind of backed off, and now they've taken the hill, pushed everything off of that, and now we have the spot. As you see an Arden Tracer go up, so we spot him, which is nice. Try the snapshot, doesn't go in. I'm going to pick up a spot on the Waffle 4 as well. And now I'm just basically running the ridge lines between this one with the Death Star or the ship barn to my right, and the other one directly in front of me with the 430 and whatever tanks are down in their hill area. So now I'm kind of playing a guessing game here as, woo, yeah, that's probably like the LTTB. Yes, we just bounced an AP around from a 4005. That did happen, and I was pretty much just hysterically laughing after that. So, one reason to love this tank, troll armor, so troll. That is the biggest caliber gun I've ever bounced in this thing, by far. So, hilarious. And now we're just going to be a little more careful, because that's not going to try to repeat that. And just more carefully skirt these ridge lines, and just keep him spotted, but not give him a shot, and just keep where his gun is pointed. If he starts turning around, so we're going to poke up, put a shot into him. And I want to put a shot into the 279, but of course the track feed it in the rear. He's a lower health target. We can take his gun out, and it'd be a lot easier to push the ship barn with only one gun, as our gun is failing us right now. We could possibly aim a little better, but you know, at 100 meters I would expect that to hit the rear of the tank. 4005 is kind of distracted by the 705A, and that's kind of fair, so we're going to take advantage of that. He just got obliterated, 705A did, and he just fired, so we're going to go in now, be more aggressive, and just pump some shots into 4005. It would take us a lot of shots to kill him ourselves, but our Death Star pushes around, and so far we've racked up 4,200 assists and just a little bit over 1,800 damage, which is solid. It's not like record breaking for this map in the LTTB, by far not the slightest. However, it's still a solid game for a tier 10, and just the sheer hilarity of bouncing that AP round, I just wanted to share this game with you because I thought it was pretty funny and it matches pretty well with the other one. And yeah, so we take out their other arty, get a nice little ammo rack on him so we don't have to waste another shell. Excuse me. And now we're just in the mop-up game, basically, finding their light tank and their machine, who's still fairly healthy, so maybe we can farm a little bit more hit points off of him as we push in and see if we can't get a little bit more often in this game. We haven't even taken a shot of damage, which is always good because it saves you hit points to mess with the end of the game, whether that's trading or doing other stuff. It's not totally viable, so we put one in the machine, make him burn his reusable or his automatic fire extinguisher, which is nice. And like I said, we have 1,000 hit points. I despise machines, so God, that feels good. So I don't care if we leave 700 hit points. Let's have a little fun at the end and humiliate a tier 10. Regardless if that gives him free damage, don't really care. It's still funny, and maybe laugh if you get the kamikaze on a tier 10 heavy tank. You know, tier 8 light tank. So we finished that game off with an ace tanker, not that surprising. 2,000 base XP, 3 kills, 2,700 of our own damage almost, and 4,600 assisted. Again, not record breaking, but still a very, very solid game considering the matchup. Most of our assists came from that 268 and the waffle, basically. That was almost the entirety of our assisted damage, which isn't surprising because a lot of their tanks did go hill or were very, very close to our friendly tanks. So, not crazy that we didn't get a ton of assisted, but again, a solid game. But the next game is going to be a little bit more assisted damage compared to the salvage yard game. So, we're going to dive into that one, and again, it's going to be on Erlenberg, but not just regular Erlenberg Blizzard, which is, when this loaded up in the LTTB, I was like, I literally think I said, oh, this is going to be good. Regardless of tier 10, it's probably better, to be fair. More hit points for us to spot. and possibly damage. But in this kind of a map, I'm basically, I think I've said it before in videos on these winter weather variants. I mean, especially in this tank with I think a 19 per crew, I'm basically a ghost, which is ironic because the tank is painted white right now. But you could basically call me a ghost in this tank because nothing's going to spot us under or over 230 meters, 240 meters. Nothing's going to really touch us in terms of view range, or should. Maybe they're Sheridan, but that's probably it. So we're in a really good position here to do a lot of damage spotting and maybe even direct damage as well. So I push down on this side just because I feel like this is where a lot of people from their team push aggressively, as we even outspot the Vanguard, which is kind of hilarious considering how good the camo is on that thing. But we pick up a couple initial spots. A lot of times I've seen teams, from what I remember, it doesn't come up too much. But when it does, a lot of teams will push very hard on this left side for the red team, where they're currently at. So it's not too surprising. And it's a good way to cut them off so they don't push around and just start driving up your base. Versus the other side, they don't tend to push that as hard where the spawns are at on this variant. So, give or take, it's more calculated play. There's less distance here for them to cross field-wise. The other one, they have a very much longer distance to travel, basically, to get up to your side of this map. So there's a lot more open ground for them to cover, versus this one they have pretty small sight lines to traverse, comparatively. So I'd rather spot this quickly and make sure it's kind of under taps. I don't know, under wrap. Or it's taken care of, let's put it that way. We stumble our way through English. So now I'm kind of satisfied with that flank. It's taken care of teammate-wise. So now I start to see the heavy tanks pop up in the middle, Patton in the middle, and slowly I'm seeing them on the right side as well. If you're going to waste some shots here and just keep these two lit up, I thought that our team would have more shots on these two. As we waste some ammo here, unfortunately. But we have the OHO, and just trying to keep them spotted, see if we can't get some quick assisted right now. But right now, look at the mini-map. And I can just see that their tier 10 heavy platoon is over here on the far right side. And I have a couple TDs that I can spot for, hopefully, and get them caught out in the open and provide that view range. As we've already lost 4 tanks, and we really don't have much over here except for our TDs, so you don't want to really expose out in the open. I'd rather spot them crossing out at a distance, so it gives our TDs a better chance of staying unspotted and be able to dish out damage at range rather than having to try to brawl tier 10 heavies. So it's not really in their best interest. So I'm trying to benefit the team here and benefit myself likewise. So you see we're already racking up the assisted by coming to the side of the map. They're not going to spot me over here in a small little corner. It's about 240 meters, 250 meters, and that shot, don't even get spotted by them. And then we rack up a big chunk of assisted as their 277 gets walloped for like 1,000 damage. Aim in on him, take him out really quick, taking one of their big guns out of the game. And now we're just going to start putting some shots into this tier 10 or tier 9 medium. Again, if I can knock out their view range tanks, we stand a really good chance of winning this game. So they're going to really give me my priority if I can. And we pick up the spot on E100, who we have APCR loaded for now. And we should have a fairly easy time penning him. Then we spot the Leah 1, 216 meters. I'm a little sketchy on shooting there, but don't get spotted. And I said, we're at 220 meters and we're not getting spotted by a Leopard 1, which is pretty nice, if I must say so. And he's just now charging towards us because he knows there's 2 light tanks over here. Spots me. I know the other guy is spotted as well, so now it's just kind of skirting in him and keeping his attention divided between 2 tanks and just being slightly aggressive here. Just trying to get him knocked out so I can be invisible on the side of the map again. So far we've racked up 4,200 assisted, and so far we're actually racking up some pretty good numbers damage-wise as well. Almost surpassing what we made, or did in the last game, I should say. And now we're winning this fairly handily, just because of our reposition and our team taking advantage of the spotting here by whittling down the health on these tier 10 heavies, which you know is not always the easiest feat to get your team to shoot. The red tanks, when you spot them, it can be really frustrating sometimes, but this is one of those games where they do in fact shoot, and they do it very well, which is nice. And now it's the 100's turn to be focused out, hopefully. Patton decides he wants to just yield it in the field. And if he's taken out, we get 2,000 more assisted for that. And we're up to 8,500 assists, which is beautiful. And now I'm fairly confident there's nothing that's going to stop me if I move down this way, and I can get behind the E100 and pick up some more assisted as well. And just change the direction, and hopefully we can pick up some damage as well. At this point, I'm chasing the 10,000 damage assisted mark. We're at 9,700, and I want to get that extra, 300 assisted to break that 10k mark, which is always kind of the goal. But quickly, we're just gonna take him out real quick, and he's gonna appreciate that shot later. He sends some hate now. Yeah. Now we go back to the middle. I know that Oho is right here. Hoping to get some assisted for him. You can see I'm kind of itchy because I don't really want to sit here. I want to spot the tier 8 German heavy that's left. The VK whatever 168. I'm not gonna try to pronounce it. I know it's the other version. I'm not even gonna bother. And yeah, we're just going to keep moving. We spot the artillery. Almost hit him on the move. Well, we did hit him on the move. We just hit his gun. That one was really off. And we're just going to go in real close now. Should be his traverse speed. And maybe we can high roll and kill him next. And we do not. We spot the VK. And we do finish off the artillery with needing 3 shots to do it. And there we go, we're over 10k, and there he goes, and he's deleted, and it takes us up over 11,000 assisted. Which I can't remember if that's a new record or not. It's around what I've done before. I think I've done 11,000 before, and then our E100 buddy has a wonderful word of wisdom for us, as we abused re-range too much, and we got called a coward. So I'm so sad about that. Hopefully I can make it up to him by posting this wonderful video. It's okay. View range is busted on winter maps. I totally agree, but I will totally abuse it, or winter weather maps. And yeah, terrific game. Yeah, 13,000 combined. And yeah, hopefully you guys enjoyed. I will catch you next time, and see ya. Peace out.